The Tucson real estate market just shifted in a major way, and if you're thinking about buying or selling in Vail, Oro Valley, or anywhere in southern Arizona, you need to know what changed in February. Mortgage rates hit a 3-year low. Inventory is up over 28%, and buyers are finally getting some negotiating power that they haven't seen in a few years. So let's break down what actually happened. I'm A Guesties, your AZ homegirl, and every month I walk you through the Tucson real estate market using the most current data from our MLS service. This isn't generic national analysis. This is what's happening right here in Tucson, Vail, Oro Valley, Marana, and the surrounding areas. February's data tells a clear story. The market is shifting from a seller's market to a balanced market. And the biggest driver is mortgage rates dropping to levels that we haven't seen since early 2023. If you've been sitting on the sidelines waiting for conditions to improve, this is the update you're going to need to hear. So let's get into the numbers. Let's start with the big picture. January 2026 data, which is the most recent complete month that we have, shows a market that both active and increasingly balanced. Total homes in January were 1,024. That's a 16.9% increase compared to January of last year. So despite what you might hear about slowing market nationally, Tucson is seeing a strong buyer activity. The median sales price held steady at $350,000. That's actually down 4.1% from last year, which tells you that prices have stabilized after rapid appreciation we saw in 23 and 24. We're not seeing huge price drops, but we're also not seeing the aggressive year-over-year increases that defined the market for the past few years. The total dollar volume of sales reached $429 million, which is 9.5% from the last year. So even though individually home prices are flat, the overall market is healthy because more homes are selling. Now, here's where it gets interesting for buyers. Active listings are up 28.7% year over year. We now have 5,600 active listings on the market. That's the highest inventory we have seen in years. And new listings are up 10% with 2,400 homes hitting the market in January alone. What does that mean? It means buyers have choices. You're not competing against 15 other offers on every property. You have time to tour homes, think it over, and negotiate. The months of supply is now at 5.47 months. 6 months is considered a perfectly balanced market. So we're almost there. This is a dramatic shift from the 2 to 3 month supply seen a year ago. And here's one more data point that shows the market is normalizing. The median days on market is now 42. That's up 17.6% from last year. Homes are taking longer to sell, which means sellers need to be realistic about pricing and presentation. This isn't a bad thing. It's a healthy thing. It's a market where both buyers and sellers can succeed if they understand the conditions and adjust their strategy accordingly. Now, let's talk about which price ranges are most active. $200,000 to $400,000 range remains the most active segment of the market. It accounts for over 42% of all the sales. This is your entry level to mid-range market, and it's where the majority of buyers are focused. But here's what's interesting. We're also seeing a notable increase in the higher price brackets. 7% of all the sales in January were over $1 million. That is significant, and it tells you that the luxury market is still strong, especially in areas like the foothills, Dove Mountain, and Oro Valley. The price per square foot is holding steady at $223. That is down slightly from last year, so we're seeing price stability, not dramatic shifts in either direction. If you're a buyer, this is great news. You're not chasing a runaway market. If you're a seller, it means you do need to price accurately. Overpricing in this market will result in your home sitting, especially with inventory up as much as it is. Now, let's talk about what's happening in specific areas because Tucson is not a single market. Different regions are performing very differently. Oro Valley is leading the market right now. Sales are up 15% year over year, inventory is up 35%, and new listings are up 20%. Oro Valley has always been a strong market because of the schools, the amenities, and the proximity to both Tucson and the Catalina Mountains. And buyers are clearly responding to the increased inventory. Saddlebrook is up 12% in sales. This is one of the premier 55 and up communities in southern Arizona, and it continues to attract retirees and active adults from California, Oregon, and other states. Inventory is up 25% in Saddlebrook, which is giving buyers in that demographic more options than they've ever had in years. Vail, where I live, is up 10% in sales. Vail is seeing strong demand for buyers looking for acreage, horse property, and space. Inventory is up 28% and new listings are up 16%. If you're looking for ranch property or larger lots, Vail is one of the best markets right now because you actually have inventory to choose from. Marana is up 8% in sales with inventory up 32%. Marana has been growing rapidly over the past decade, and that growth is continuing. It's attracting families, first-time buyers, and people who want newer construction with easy access to I-10 and Tucson. Tucson Metro, which includes central Tucson and the surrounding areas, is up 5% in sales. It's a diverse market with everything from historic neighborhoods to new developments, and it's seeing steady, healthy activity. Now, let's talk about the areas that are down slightly. Sahuarita is down 1% in sales. It's not a dramatic drop, and inventory is still up 22%, so there are opportunities there. Sahuarita also has great schools, a strong sense of community, and it's a little further south, so commute times can be a factor for some buyers. Green Valley is down 3%. Green Valley is another active adult community, and it tends to move in cycles. Inventory is up 20%, so if you're a buyer looking in that area, you have options. Now, let's talk about Cochise County, which includes areas like Sierra Vista and Benson. Those are down 4%. This is a more rural market, and it's not seeing the same level of activity as the Tucson metro areas, but inventory is still up 8%, so there are deals to be found if you're willing to be out a little further. The takeaway here is that Oro Valley, Vail, Marana, and Saddlebrook are the hottest markets right now. If you're a seller in those areas, you're in a good position. If you're a buyer, you need to move decisively. But you're not dealing with the insane competition you would have faced a year ago. Now, let's talk about the single biggest factor that's driving the market right now: mortgage rates. As of late February, the 30-year fixed mortgage rates are hovering in the 6% to 6.25 range. That's the lowest that we have seen in years. Let me put that into perspective. If you're financing a $400,000 loan at 6%, your monthly payment could be around $2,400. That is a significant saving compared to the 7 to 7.5 rates that we were seeing just a few months ago. This drop in rates has brought buyers back into the market who were previously sidelined by affordability challenges. And the data reflects that. Pending sales, which are homes that are under contract but haven't closed yet, are up 13.4% in early 2026. That's a surge. Here's what that means for you though. If you're a buyer, this is your window. Rates are lower, inventory is higher, and you have negotiation power. You're not bidding against 10 other buyers on every property. You can make a reasonable offer, ask for some concessions, and take your time touring homes. Now, if you're a seller, you need to understand that buyers are more cautious than they were a year ago. That's not making emotional decisions. They're running the numbers, so your home needs to be priced correctly, it needs to show well, and you need to be realistic about what the market will bear. The forecast for the rest of 2026 suggests that rates will stay in this range, maybe dipping slightly lower if inflation continues to cool. So this isn't a temporary blip. This is the new normal for the next several months. And that's why I'm telling buyers, if you have been waiting, now is your time. Because if rates drop even further, you are going to start seeing competition. Right now, you have that sweet spot of a lower rate and higher inventory. So if you're a buyer, here's what you need to do first. Get pre-approved for a mortgage. Not pre-qualified, pre-approved. You need to know exactly how much you can afford and what your monthly payment will be at your current rates. And you need that approval letter in hand when you're making your offers. Second, work with an agent who understands the local market. Tucson is not a single market. Oro Valley is different from Vail, which is different from Marana, which is different from Central Tucson. You need someone who knows the neighborhoods, the price ranges, and the inventory trends. Third, be prepared to move when you find the right property. The market is more balanced, but good homes are still selling fast. If you find a property that checks your boxes, don't wait. Make a competitive offer. Fourth, use this inventory to your advantage. Tour multiple homes, compare, negotiate, ask for repairs, ask for closing credits. This is a market where you have leverage, so you definitely should use it. And fifth, think long term. Don't try to time the bottom of the market. If you find a home that you love at a price you can afford, buy it. Because even if prices dip slightly over the next few months, you're looking in historically low rates and you're getting into the market. All right, my sellers, here's your strategy. First, price your home accurately. This is not a market to test high end. If you are overpriced, your home will sit. And the longer it sits, the more leverage buyers have to lowball you. Work with an agent who can pull comparable sales data and show you what homes are actually selling for, not what they are listed for. And be willing to adjust your expectations if the data doesn't support your desired price. Second, invest in presentation. Stage your home, hire a professional photographer. Make sure your curb appeal is strong. Buyers have options right now, so your home needs to stand out. Third, be flexible on your terms. If buyers are asking for closing cost credits or repairs, you may need to consider it. You want to keep the deal moving forward, not kill it over small issues. And fourth, understand that the days of multiple offers and bidding wars are far over. You might get one solid offer and that's it. So evaluate it carefully, negotiate reasonably, and don't let good buyers walk away because you're holding out for something realistic. And fifth, if you're selling to buy, use this market to your advantage on the buy side. You might get slightly less for your current home than you would have a year ago, but you're also buying in a market where more inventory and less competition is a thing. So it balances out. If you're relocating to Tucson from California, Oregon, or another state, this is an excellent time to make your move. The combination of lower mortgage rates, higher inventory, and stable prices means you're getting more for your money than you would have 6 months ago. Tucson offers a lower cost of living than most West Coast metros, but you're not sacrificing the lifestyle. You have access to outdoor recreation, cultural events, great restaurants, and a strong sense of community. And if you're coming from California with equity from selling your home there, your buying power in Tucson is significant. What's selling for $1.5 million in Southern California might get you a luxury estate on acreage here. The regions I'd focus on if you're relocating are Oro Valley, Vail, Marana, the foothills, and Tanque Verde. The areas have strong schools, newer construction, and access to the amenities, and they're all seeing healthy growth right now. So here's the bottom line. The Tucson real estate market in February is balanced, active, and opportunity rich. Buyers have leverage they haven't had in years. Sellers can still get strong prices if they're realistic and strategic, and relocators are finding that Tucson offers exceptional value compared to other metros. If you want my complete February 2026 market report with all the data, charts, and regional breakdowns, just comment February guide below. I'll send it right over to you. But here's my question. Are you planning to buy or sell this year? Drop it in the comments. I'm always curious where people are in their real estate journey. And if you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button. I'm putting out 2 videos a week covering Arizona real estate, the market updates, lifestyle content, and everything you need to know about living here. And if you're seriously considering buying or selling in the Vail, Tucson, or surrounding areas, let's talk. call or text me at 520-980-9880. I'd love to show you what's on the market and help navigate this shifting landscape. I'm Meg Estes, your AZ homegirl, and I will catch you in the next video.